Okay, guys, welcome to this edition of Conversation with Founders. My name is Sharizan, and we are joined today by the founders of Carpedia to have a casual conversation about their startup and their ECF campaign on pitchIN. So before we begin, let's do some introduction. My name is Sharizan, and I head up the education bit for pitchIN. With us today, we have Hazim and Amirul, the CEO and CFO of Carpedia.
Yep.
Now, a little bit about Carpedia before I pass on to Amirul to do some introduction on Carpedia. So Carpedia is a car sharing platform that provides gig economy opportunities for job seeker. They are one of the issuers currently raising funds on ECF on pitchIN. They are live at the moment with 12 days to go on their campaign. So Hazim, do you want to intro yourself a bit before we start with the conversation?
Yeah, sure. Hi everyone. My name is Hazim Azhar. I am the CEO of Carpedia and also the co-founder of Carpedia. Carpedia is a baby that we started way back in 2013, and it was as another entity. And 2015 we rebranded to become Carpedia. And we have been 5 years in the business right now, and 2020 is the year that we see that Carpedia there's no excuse for Carpedia not to grow, and the way forward for us now is only to move forward and fly.
Okay, all right, it's great. Amirul, you want to say a few words before we start?
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Amirul Azrai. I am the co-founder and CFO of Carpedia. I joined Carpedia back in 2015 when Hazim and another partner, once brand and form the Carpedia. Since then, we've been working, we've been hustling throughout the 5 years, and we saw good traction last year. And last year we decided to move forward by raising fund to spur or boost our growth. Yeah, so that's the reason why we are where we are now on ECF. So yeah.
Okay, so before we get to the questions, right? How do you find your experience on pitching and doing ECF so far with the campaign and all?
Okay, if I can answer this, I think it's a good exposure to us because all this while Carpedia has been really bootstrapping from the beginning, and we were growing organically using our business and mainly on revenues. And we were only introduced to this and know this knowledge of fundraising, I think late last year. And since then, I think it's a very good exposure to us. I think the exposure that we had doing this fundraising, I think it takes already a big portion of our total experience of building Carpedia for the past 5 years. So that says a lot about this exercise and also this activity. And I would really recommend for startups and businesses out there to consider this crowdfunding activity and exercise as one of the options for an avenue to grow.
Okay, that's great to know, man. I think you guys, your generation especially, are lucky in the sense that you have all of these options in terms of fundraising, right? So So again, the purpose of this conversation is to let the funders, to the investors out there know a little bit about yourself personally and professionally, of course, right? So I'll go through the series of questions just to get a feel for you guys and what you have been doing so far, right?
Yep.
So my first question is, how did you guys meet and came together in building Carpedia?
I answer this, Amirul.
Yeah, CEO kena jawab.
Okay. Amirul and another two co-founders, Fairuz and also Rashid, we have known each other, don't be surprised, for the last 21 years.
How laju,
So
man?
dah kenal luar dalam lah diorang ni.
Okay.
Because we went to the same school, same boarding school before, back in 1999. So you can guess our age right now. Back in '99, we on board to a boarding school in Kuala Kangsar together when we were only 13 years old. So we have known each other for 21 years now, and we acknowledge that everyone has their own strength, each one of us, and has their own qualities. And we believe for a fact that we know that if we collaborate and leverage from each other, we can achieve greater things in life. That's our holding principle of the four of us. That makes Kapidia today. Yep.
So you guys were friends since a long time. You want to add to that, Amirul? Any stories of how you met?
Yeah. So basically, in addition to that, prior to join Kapidia, I did another business venture, and also I went to further my study doing MBA in London. So I came back to Malaysia somewhere in October, November 2014. And I think somewhere around December 2014 and January 2015, Hazim and Rashid approached me. Selling the ideas that, why don't join them and build this Kapidia. And, because like Hazim said just now, we were close friends. So I said, why not, because, I have a bit of experience in business. At least, on the first year of building up Kapidia, at least I know how to, to start it and how to, build a business. Yeah.
And to avoid any tembok-tembok yang patutnya tak dilanggar. Yes. Abdul was the one who are providing the insights because he has langgar that before.
I find that's the best way to learn. Is that you hit it first and then know that it's there.
Yeah. So I hit it first. I need at least for 2 years. So for the first 2 years, at least I can help to maneuver Kapidia, but then we still langgar juga lah certainly.
Of course. In fact, I haven't met any entrepreneur which tak pernah langgar any dinding, right?
Oh, itu
possible to do that.
Superman lah kot.
Yeah, because I think why? Because it is uncharted territories.
Yes,
and there are so many things. Entrepreneurship is an interesting journey for me. There are so many actually that you don't know, and as you progress, you learn new things every day. Yeah. So that makes it exciting lah for me.
True.
Well, if you build yourself as a startup, right, certain people even define startup as operating in high-risk areas. So, hitting walls or hitting potholes is inevitable. It's just a matter of surviving it, all right?
Betul.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question is, what's the story behind Kapidia? Why did you start it? What was the inspiration behind it? What was the moment where you think that Kapidia was the right thing to start?
Okay. It was a really spontaneous idea actually. When I just started working, me and my and the other partner, Rashid, we've always wanted to do business. In fact, back in university, back in school, we were saying to each other, besar nanti kita buat business, but we don't know what business to do. And one fine day, after months of discuss benda yang sama, tapi we don't land to any say that okay, this is the business that we want to do. One fine night, lepak kat kedai mamak, me and Rashid, why don't we try to do car rental business? Why? Because it is a very minimal exposure that we put ourselves into. And how? Is by, waktu tu I baru start kerja, so I dah ada a little bit of loan facilities that I could use. So using that loan facilities, kita beli sebiji kereta menggunakan my loan facilities at 0 down payment with 9 years loan, dan kita gamble letak kereta tu dekat university. Because that was the only experience and knowledge that we had. Waktu dekat uni dan waktu dekat sekolah, kita nampak ada orang buat bisnes kereta sewa. So kita pun nak buat juga. So we put the car there, hire a student which happened to be our junior back in school juga, untuk run the car without expecting anything. But surprisingly, after 1 year, we saw a profit, quite a handsome profit for us lah yang baru start waktu tu. So me and Rashid, we look back at each other macam, hey, not bad why don't we do this seriously? So we took the car out from university, rebrand jadi Carpedia, call up Amirul to join in, and yeah, that's how it started to become a Carpedia lah. And from there on, from being a car rental business yang cater just for university market, we started to open up our worldview to rent out cars to corporate clients, to government clients, to tourism, and also e-hailing segment, e-hailing industry. Waktu tu 2015, 2016, e-hailing was booming back then, baru masuk. So we saw an opportunity there, and in 2016 we decided that we want to focus our niche kepada kita sewakan kereta kepada e-hailing drivers, e-hailing industry saja, because the market is huge and there are a huge demand for it, and mainly because of the lucrative business cash flow model from renting out our cars to e-hailing. Why? Because when we experience sewakan kereta to government, to corporate client, to tourism, agak susah for us to get long-term leasing. And in car rental business, getting a long-term leasing ni is a blast. But for e-hailing segment, I would say almost effortless for us to get 3 months rental. Sebab whoever yang rent cars to do e-hailing and also to do gig jobs, for example, parcel delivery lah, to do sort of other gig jobs, their intention to rent is mainly to sustain their life, to make income. So you cannot just make income in 1 or 2 days. So tu yang buatkan dia sewa lama lah. And in fact, just to share with you, kita ada driver yang already rent with us up to 4 years right now, since 2017.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah. He's doing that non-stop since then lah.
Yeah, he was still a e-hailing driver, and not just e-hailing. We would call them as our gig workers, gig partners.
Okay.
Because because it's a new norm, right? This gig economy, people are starting to explore that and realize that sebenarnya kerja-kerja bawa kereta ni is not really a low skill punya benda. It's actually a very promising actually. Yep.
Well, okay. What before that first car that you bought, right? What were you doing before that?
I was working for a corporate company. I was
Belajar
in
lah.
apa?
Belajar lah. Dia belajar lama sikit.
Waktu tu I baru start kerja. And the idea untuk start business ni lepas dah kerja lah.
Yeah.
And I think a few months after, 6 months after I work, then started to venture into business, car rental business dekat university. But prior to that, of course, I went to, I finished my masters in UTP in petroleum engineering punya course, and I end up being in one of the giant oil and gas company in Malaysia, being as a petroleum engineer.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
So safe to say that this is your first venture. Then you haven't done anything before this. But okay,
pernah.
Amirul.
This This is my, I would say, second or third venture. Yeah.
Okay.
Kalau you tanya I about my first business, that I remember doing in my life was the first business after SPM, I jual soya dengan tahu fufa dekat tepi jalan.
Oh, we have it something in common. I jual kurma dekat Pasar Ramadan.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
After SPM, we did quite well, you know.
Really? Okay. It's a different story to me. The business only lasted for 1 week, 1 or 2 weeks saja. Because the ultimatum ya, when kita waktu tu kita dah buat during weekdays dekat tepi jalan kan, and the sales was not that really good pun, but we were really anticipating untuk masuk pasar malam tau on weekends. Tapi bila kita pergi pasar malam tu, the first pasar malam event kita nak pergi, when kita buka tong soya tu, soya dah jadi tak fufa. So we cannot sell at all. So instead what we do, kita pergi beli kejap, sirap what do you call that? Cordial. Beli cordial sebab kita waktu tu partner dengan satu burger stall.
Okay.
So we can still sell something. So kita pergi kedai beli cordial kejap, kita jual sirap je lah bro.
I think everybody has those kind of experience. I mean, you want to share your experience doing that?
I think somehow I personally, I've been encouraged by my mother, to always sell something, because back in when I was small, dekat rumah ada banyak pokok. So ada rambutan, ada manggis, and so my mother always cakap, ambil lah rambutan ni, buat seikat pergi jual masa kat sekolah, that kind of things. Yep. So I have picked up some sort of entrepreneurship, the encouragement from my mother. But my first business venture masa kat UTP, sebelum Hazim masuk masa master degree. So I was there masa degree. Masa first year I kat UTP, I saw that akan ada orang datang jual t-shirt tau.
Okay.
Then I macam tengok design tak ada pun cantik. That's my first thought. Design tak adalah cantik sangat. But then ramai je orang beli. So it came to my mind that why don't I cari orang yang ada bakat buat design, I cari modal and I try to sell out. And this is the first experience langgar dinding lah.
Okay.
Bunyi indah and senang, but this is my experience lah. And from there I learn. So to cut long story short, basically I berjaya cari designer. I berjaya cari modal. I pinjam my father RM2,000 as modal to print the first ni. And I know that in order untuk this to happen, I kena cari pre-order a bit to cover the modal, the cost, and at the same time then print more so that I can make some more money lah. So what happened is that orang yang uruskan, somehow masa tu I tak kenal siapa yang nak print baju dan sebagainya. So I lalu macam orang tengah lah. Okay. Intermediaries. And it happened that intermediaries boleh pula menghilangkan diri.
Okay.
for close to 1 semester. So I dah ambil daripada a few people and dah ambil deposit lah. And these people keep asking me, I dah sampai satu tahap, Allah macam mana? Hari-hari doang lah. Mana lah intermediaries ni. And at the end of the semester, somehow the intermediaries just pass my details to the printer, and the printer tu yang contact I. So the printer yang help to finish up the production lah.
Okay.
Getting all, and alhamdulillah, luckily the product went out lah.
Okay. So this story has a happy ending lah.
Happy ending lah.
Happy ending lah at least.
Better than Nazim lah. Better than Nazim story. And to make it even a happier ending, so for the 4 years in UTP, memang apa yang I buat lain belajar lah. I memang so I build my own brand. That is where I pick up branding, macam mana nak buat stocking up, a bit of planning, event management. And the ultimatum is masa my final year, 3 hari punya convocation, bawa turun about 200-300 helai t-shirt.
Okay.
Managed to sell everything, sold out on the final day. Hari Ahad basically sebab bank dah tutup, this is the ultimatum lah, yang memang the excitement masa tu. Dah fikir aku grad je, aku nak jadi penjual t-shirt. I literally sleep on cash yang berjumlah RM6,000.
Okay.
Hey, but you should also
Money lah.
mention, you should also mention the one who are helping you out to sell the t-shirt during convocation. One of them.
Yeah, and one of the person yang jual, because Hazim masa dia buat master degree final year dia start buat master, so Hazim is the one helping to sell.
Okay.
We pick up our business skills lah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good to know. Okay, so let's snap back to the current situation, right?
Yeah.
So what is a typical day for you at Kapidia? How is it on a day-to-day basis?
For me, typical day for me is every morning I would wake up early. I would spend my time early in the morning untuk of course solat subuh semua, and then I would make sure that I would make time for me to exercise dulu pagi-pagi. Sebab it's hard for me kalau exercise ni buat later part of the day, dia susah nak find time tau. Bila dah settlekan what, at least you know that okay, the rest of the day you can do serious stuff. You can do benda-benda lain lah. So I will make sure that every morning I can settlekan benda tu dulu. I at least jogging ke, pergi gym ke, pergi swim ke, apa ke. And then bila nak start buat kerja, what I would do first is I would glance through my KPI dulu. I tengok which is the company KPI lah, kan? And has it progressed from the day before? And any challenges that hindering us to achieve our target today or even tomorrow. Then kalau ada challenges, ada anything, then I would communicate with my team. On the phones, ataupun pergi jumpa, ataupun on con calls, helping them on providing direction. Tak banyak pun. I just provide them the good direction because I believe in the talent that we have in Kapidia. They are good. They just need a little bit of a guidance and direction je, where to go next. So once we make it clear to them, this is the way that you should go ahead, that you should go to, and along the way too, they will pick up all the required skills and the required little details that they need. And at the end of the day, we made it a culture at Kapidia that before we close business, let's sit down for maximum 15 minutes, a stand-up meeting every day, just to recap what have you done today, any challenges, and if there is any support needed for us as a team to help you solve the problems together, or at least contribute an idea. And to me, I think a typical day for me at Kapidia is I'm more of a mission guardian of the company. I will make sure that everyone is aligned, everyone is stick to the mission, and I make sure that everyone is heading to the right, to the same direction everyone is heading, and make sure that challenges and problems be solved together.
Okay, all right, that's great to know. I think I like the part that you put KPI very early in your day, and that shows that you are objective or oriented.
Yeah, of course, right? Because without numbers, then kita cakap sembang je lah.
Yalah.
Bila dah fundraising on ECF, on pitchIN platform, dah beritahu nama lagi lah kena kejar.
Betul.
Exactly. So it's a good thing that you are already doing that. So it wouldn't be something that is out of your way or anything, right? Because you already doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, Amirul, I want to ask you this. Okay. What's the most gratifying thing about running Kapidia from your point of view?
Gratifying Alamak, gratifying.
Bit heavy word for late afternoon, right? I personally, this is my my personal view lah, personal answer. I think a few things lah that gives satisfaction. The one is to see the company that when we first started back when I joined back in 2015, that we are trying to figuring out what we want to do with the entity, with the business.
has grown to something that, for me, that is significant, have made certain impact to the society, and also have employed, quite a number of great talents to be part of us, and we have continued to shape up our business to become who we are now lah, what we are now, in the sense that now we are more clear in terms of what we are going to achieve. So I think that's the whole 5 years punya satisfaction lah, being able to build a sustainable business, and to employ good talents, and I wish I could employ more, and also continue to build the business to the next level lah.
Yep, betul.
I think what you said that reverberates across a lot of startups that I know. I think there's this whole idea of empowering other people to do something, right? Either for very basic through employment or anything other than that, like a gig economy opportunities that you guys are providing, right?
Yeah. If I can add,
sure.
Another gratifying things yang that I betul-betul rasa satisfaction is macam I nak emphasize sikit apa yang Amirul cakap tu, because Shah, the first 2-3 years of Carpedia, seriously we have no idea that we have this vision that we have today.
I pernah satu malam fikir, esok pagi aku bangun, aku nak beritahu Azim aku nak left the company.
Well, we all have gone through that. Anybody who's done any business would go through that, right?
Yeah,
but yeah.
As the day goes by, the vision is clearer, the direction is clearer, and I think with the clearer vision too, I think it also builds up the confidence in us, on the founders, on how are we going to steer this, and how are we going to help our staff and our team to move towards that direction. And the gratifying things also is when I see small KPIs that we achieve through milestones. Even though most of the time, in fact, it doesn't really translate into money pun. Macam benda-benda kecil je. For example, dapat meeting dengan orang ni. But at least things are progressing and you are one step closer in reaching the bigger target and the bigger vision.
Yep, of course. Because
tapi paling gratifying untuk Hazim this year, I think dia banyak masuk TV lah.
Banyak masuk TV.
Banyak lah.
That's always gratifying lah.
Dia dah level celebrity lah.
But that's a good thing for your startup, especially. I think you would want a celebrity CEO. I think pitchIN has one, right? Personally, so I think all of that again is quite consistent with a lot of startups that I meet. End of the day, for most startups that I know, it's not just about the money. Of course, money is important. Anybody who's working would say money is important, but it couldn't be just about money, right? Whatever you do, even if you're doing a straightforward job, right, it still be worth something more than just money. Kan?
Shah. Most of the time, it doesn't translate into money, but it's still.
Exactly. But again, this whole idea of value, right? It transcends beyond money, lah.
If I may add and emphasize one thing, tadi tak terfikir.
Okay.
I think one thing that maybe not many people aware, that Carpedia, the company, among other things, yang kita in terms of employment, we employ people who have been unemployed earlier, who have been retrenched, been out of job for many years. So I mean, in terms of employment, that is the kind of people that we are trying to help. I personally, with my exposure in corporate, doing HR, I think somehow adalah sikit-sikit, to find talents that actually fit for certain jobs, rather than just looking based on past experience and education background, because that's what typical hiring managers or typical HR do lah. But for me, it's always about find, look into the person punya strength and try
take an opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I think also for those companies, those startup, those founders who look beyond money, they tend to be very good at making money because they don't look at the money itself. They look at the value that brings in the money, right?
Yeah,
So
that's really true, Shah. Because from what we observe, those people yang we pick up ni, because they have this burning motivation in them. Itu sebenarnya yang mahal in a human ni. When
exactly.
the motivation tu yang penting. It's not really about your skill, because if you have a burning motivation, the skills we pick up along the way.
A friend of mine recently shared, right, the most important skill to learn in the future is you have to have the ability to learn, unlearn and relearn.
Betul? Relearn, betul?
You know,
Okay, Syah, itu requirements tu ada dalam my job posting recently.
Oh, is it? Maybe my friend
betul.
picked it up from you.
No, this is the normal sentence for HR, but you know, rather than just sentence, I think many people should now embrace it.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so getting to the next question, right?
Yep.
Now I open this question to both of you. Anyone out there that you look up to, I mean, business CEO or celebrity figure that you really look up to in terms of inspiration and all?
Azim ada ramai. Bagi dia start dulu.
Okay. To me, I look up a lot to Mr. Tony Fernandez, if you're watching this.
Hopefully.
I have not met him in person, but I think we share a lot of similarities. We were born in a middle class family. We share a good passion of music and sports. We are ni macam self-claim pula, flamboyant and happy-go-lucky kind of type. And we have big dreams that we want to accomplish in life. And I think what I learned from him is the courage to be yourself. Always have the mindset to bring positive impact to the people around you. And actually nothing in the world can stop you actually from getting what you want. And you only live once, nak takut apa? So the world is your what?
Playground.
It's your playground. So go out
playground.
there.
There's a lot of things that goes with that sentence.
Betul.
Yeah, I
kalau Hazim Tony Fernandez, I berharap satu hari nanti I akan jadi Kamarudin Meranon lah. Supaya I boleh follow.
We all hope for that, of course.
Supaya I boleh follow kekayaan dia lah.
Well, again, even if you look at Tony Fernandez, right, you will still see that idea of vision and value that transcends just about trying to make money. But again, you know, having that values, having that attention to value gives you the ability to generate that kind of money. So, you know, it goes hand in hand lah.
Betul.
Agree.
And I principle ni, or this philosophy of helping people, then money will come in tu mula-mula when our first years of doing business, I don't really buy it lah. Seriously, it was more on nak buat duit. But you cannot make money if you don't help to solve people's problems.
Exactly.
So that's what we learned, that if we focus on solving people's problems, the money will follow through.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. You want to add on to that, Amirul?
Oh, I punya sekarang lah, currently I look up to local startups, local SMEs, two person lah. One, I look up at Delori, Nadir Ashafiq.
Okay, alright.
And another one adalah Aerodyne, Kamarul.
Kamarul, oh, cool guy.
So
up and comers,
yeah.
Movers
So
and shakers, so they say.
Yeah. So I'm glad. Unlike Hazim, dia tak pernah jumpa Tony Fernandez. Dia lebih kepada pemuja lah sekarang. I met both of them.
I actually met Nadir last week.
Yeah. I met Nadir last year, somewhere in April or May. bila dia habis the lori baru complete series apa Jim? Series B
Series B.
And he dia on one event they share about what it takes untuk do fundraising lah. And actually that is one of the moment yang trigger me to and then I go back excitedly sharing about all this with Azim, and from there we start looking into we need to start fundraising.
Betul, naik share betul.
Naik share bagus naik share. And then I think I met Kamaru somewhere early this year. So yeah, I've been looking at them, how they move the company, how they venture into other regions, other countries and other regions lah. And I think that's very inspiring lah to do that from homegrown in Malaysia.
Yeah, and he tells the story very well. I think that's what makes entrepreneur gravitate around him. But each one of us has those kind of advantages that we need to bring out during while running our startups, right?
Betul.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the last question before we go into the bonus round, right?
Well, the bonus round.
So don't worry.
But the bar
what is your
bonus round?
So what is your overall aspiration and vision for Kapidia?
Okay, I think I should answer this.
Ni CEO kena jawab. sebab jawapan CFO mungkin lagi sebab dia ada finance interest.
Understand?
Okay, this is all about the vision of Kapidia, what I envision Kapidia to be. Kita started off daripada traditional business, daripada car rental business, and we evolved to become a small operator of car sharing platform for gig economy workers. Yeah. And over the years, for the past 5 years, we have been doing this, a car sharing platform for gig economy workers. I think we are quite matured that we have found a good positioning to tap a bigger opportunity in the market segment of a huge market right now, which is job seekers and employment. Because the data that we got from renting out our cars to gig economy workers is they come from this segment, from job seekers and unemployed people. So with an experience over 5 years serving this market, we have a very high understanding in our customer behavior and also the culture, the gig culture. And for us, I think this data, of course, we are going to collect more and become a leading gig income platform for job seekers. And my vision for Kapidia is to be more than just a car sharing platform, but using this medium or tool to become a human capital for gig workers to industries, startups, and also SMEs. Because you see, these people, talent that coming to us, you'll be surprised looking at their profile. They come from high flyers in universities. They come from experienced professional driving with us because they have been retrenched recently. So I think we want to send the right message that Kapidia, when you come on board with Kapidia, you are not going to do this gig or low skill work forever, but it is only for temporary. Before how Kapidia can add value to you in order for you to be able to propel better in the next new demand of job market, which is, I believe, it is going to be gig economy.
Yep, I think it's evident that moving forward, the traditional job, as they say, is not really going to come back to that. It's a changing landscape and it's moving in a different direction now.
And it's changing really fast.
Yep, exactly. All right. Okay, so you want to add on to that, Amirul, before we go on to the bonus round?
Oh, tak boleh tambah. Nanti dia lari. Vision CEO. Dia always, for vision and mission, always stick to the CEO.
But I think personally I like that answer, because the thing is I do believe you when you say that we are living in a changing landscape, and looking at the data of unemployment and all of that, the traditional way of wisdom of studying hard and then getting a good job might not work for the next generation, and the next generation require a different wisdom to apply.
Betul. Different wisdom, different way of doing things,
different behavior.
I think that's the challenges. That is another challenges for tertiary education pula, macam mana nak keep up.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I think you guys have a good solid market that you want to approach. It's just a matter of letting that market take shape and capitalizing from it lah, I think, right?
Betul.
Correct.
Betul.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
so if you guys are okay, we'll go into the bonus round. So I'll ask you a series of questions. You have to
Drum
answer
roll,
quickly lah. Drum roll.
Drum roll.
Okay, don't worry. It's not too difficult lah. So just quickly answer which one.
Promise, don't
You have
be
to-
too difficult,
I know that. I promise you that. So
Okay,
you just have to pick one lah. Okay. So every time I mention something, you have to pick either one, right?
Alamak,
So the first
okay.
one is either Zoom or Google Meet.
Zoom.
Amirul? Zoom. Okay,
Zoom.
later we'll go.
Yeah.
We'll come back to this.
Okay.
Slack or Microsoft Teams?
Slack.
Team.
Slack. Okay, different answer there, right? Never mind. We'll circle back to that.
Yeah.
WhatsApp or Telegram?
WhatsApp. Easy.
WhatsApp.
Malaysian memang
Okay.
WhatsApp. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Starbucks or any other coffee joint?
Starbucks.
Starbucks, eh? Oh, yo,
Starbucks.
this is surprising, man.
Starbucks.
Mine would be different. Okay, lastly, desktop or mobile app?
Mobile app.
Mobile app.
Oh, I'm still a desktop guy lah. I can do certain things on mobile app, but still, every time I want to do actual work, I'll have to come back to the desktop.
Hey, you'll be surprised if you just explore. Seriously, because I
Seriously?
also had that mindset juga. Susah nak buat kerja lah kalau tak ada desktop. But actually kalau with the help of some apps yang ada yang boleh tolong you buat dalam phone, sebenarnya it can be done. And lagi efficient sebenarnya. Because it boleh on the go.
Yep. So you wanna go over some of that? WhatsApp or Telegram? Actually, WhatsApp or Telegram? I would want to answer Telegram because I like Telegram better actually. But the thing is, everybody's on WhatsApp, so it's a bit difficult trying to get people to respond on Telegram.
Betul.
If you ask me.
And I think there's a study that shows that Malaysians are among the among the top 5 or top 10 highest usage of WhatsApp.
Yep.
I think WhatsApp yang datang dulu and got the traction, and everyone of us are on WhatsApp.
Okay,
So-
my view on WhatsApp and Telegram ni, dia macam comparison Android dengan Apple lah. Kalau fair lah. I think
betul.
Apple,
Betul lah.
but to me, I've experienced pakai dua-dua. I think Apple is very friendly and convenient. But in Android, if you are a type of developer and want to do a lot of things, Android is the way for you lah.
Yep.
But if you're just a simple guy, yang tak
Simple
nak
guy.
things
Define simple guy.
simple guy tak nak things complicated, pakai Apple lah. Apple or WhatsApp.
I think a lot of Apple user might disagree. I know certain programmers who swear by Apple devices and laptops, right?
Tak, Syah, sebenarnya dia nak suruh CFO keluar bajet beli MacBook.
Me personally, I'm cursed. I cannot use Apple because I use a lot of shortcut keys and all my shortcut keys don't work on Apple laptop.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm stuck with PC lah, unless I want to relearn all of my shortcuts, which I'm not going to do anytime soon.
I personally, Syah, memang say no to all Apple punya devices lah.
Okay lah.
Dia
You and me can gang lah, bro.
Hazim
try.
tak, tapi Hazim is currently try to convince me to use MacBook.
I tried a few times, tapi I just couldn't really stick to it because of the shortcut keys. All my shortcut keys don't work, especially on Excel. I use all of the shortcut keys in Excel, so I can't use it on Mac. So that's a problem.
Correct.
Okay, I think we can wrap up now. Maybe a little bit more on the Starbucks or other coffee joint lah. Me personally, right? Okay, I often buy Starbucks, not because I prefer Starbucks, because it's more convenient to buy Starbucks. But I prefer other coffee joint. My favorite is actually 8 ounce. Have you guys tried?
Hey,
Yeah.
can you find 8 ounce easily? I mean, if you kalau you
unless
ada
in KL lah.
yeah. True. Sebab I think it's quite hard.
If you're in Bangi like me.
Yeah, I mean, kita memang selalu pergi 8 ounce. Sometimes sebab kat KLCC ada 8 ounce.
Betul.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next time you guys want to meet me, make sure it's at 8 ounce.
We make sure that it's 8 ounce lah. Okay. Noted.
And make sure the CFO forks out the budget for it lah.
Tapi kita orang jumpa Sam dekat Starbucks.
Exactly, that's the problem. Okay, so final message. Because we can make the video for too long until later people won't watch, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So final message on Kapidia.
Okay. By the end of this fundraising campaign, we are going to close the campaign very soon. I think by 6 August, we are going to close the campaign already. And we anticipate that the amount of fund that we are going to raise through this round will be around 500,000 ringgit. And I would like to call up anyone out there, especially investors who are looking into an opportunity or an option to grow their money with us. Kapidia could be a good vehicle for you to do that. First is due to the huge market that we are trying to cater, and also with the evolution, and also it is proven in the past 5 years that Kapidia is a team of people who always iterate and always respond to changes. And I think that is what's more important for your investment, knowing that having a dynamic team that could respond to whatever situation that you are currently having, because we don't know. I cannot cross into I cannot imagine what's going to be next big thing after this pandemic or war. But if you have the dynamic and also the mindset of always to adapt to changes, I think you will become a survivor.
Okay, all right, that's great. Amirul, you want to add on to that before we wrap up?
Yeah, quick one. I think so far we have raised money from 61 investors. So there are at least 61 people entrusted their money with us. And I think that's a good numbers to have, especially since it is a equity crowdfunding. So what I would say that, we are ending our campaign in the next 12 days, 12 to 13 days, yeah. So like Hazim said, we anticipate we about to close around 500,000, and we would encourage more people to come and join us in developing what could be the next big gig economy platform in this region.
Yep.
Yeah, so come on board, and I mean we look forward to grow this company and your investment money together.
Okay, that's great.
All right.
Well, I wish you the best of luck for the remainder 12 days, right?
Thank you, Shah.
Thank you, Shah.
All the best. And I think I'm looking forward to see what Kapidia will bring to our larger economy in the future, right?
Yeah.
You see,
Okay.
We'll work hard for that. We are working hard for that. Yeah.
There's going to be 61 people that will hold you accountable to at least.
Yeah.
Right? Well, hopefully that.
Hello?
Dia dah tertutup. Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thanks for the session.
Thank you.
No worries.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
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 Bye.